the map set up so everyone can take a look at Sherwood Association. We've got the sign-in sheet making its way around the room, so if you can sign in, we'd sure appreciate it. Couple things on the sign-in sheet. We are trying to build up our email list so that we're able to get information out to you a little bit more quickly if you're on our email list. Linda Elms is our wonderful email coordinator. Thank you for taking that on, Linda, when Bridget moved out of state this past spring.
I didn't ask anybody to put their email on it. I just have the name, so.
Okay, if you could, why don't we kind of recirculate that around? And if you'd like to add your email, we'd love to add you to our list. I promise you, we're not going to spam you or send you any junk email. We send very infrequently, mostly things about the meetings that we're holding. Every once in a while, we'll get something from the county or the sewer district or the library asking you to fill out a survey or give your input. And those are the kind of things that we send out. So anything else?
Maybe 4 times a year.
Yeah, I would say at the most, and that's kind of on the high side.
And we've got one in the chat.
Let's see. I usually bring an agenda. I did not have time to make one today. Victoria, I brought a lot of copies of handouts. I wasn't sure if you brought any.
I did.
Okay, I brought 15 copies of some, and I think 10 on the other,
Oh,
so.
my goodness.
So why don't we go ahead and get started? We usually just begin with some roundtable introductions. Basically, we'll just go around the room, say hello. If you'd like to give your name, perhaps where you live in the neighborhood or how long you've lived there. Well, actually, why don't I start by introducing the board members that are here with us tonight? So we're an informal board. We're all volunteers. I've been acting as president for several years. Linda Elms right here is our email coordinator. So she'll introduce herself as she goes around, but she is the one who would send you emails if you were sending any out. Next to her, we have Betty Hennessy. She's an original board member. We sure appreciate all your help, Betty, over the years. Also, we have Cliff Richard, original board member, hanging in there all these years. Thank you, Cliff. And let's see, and Jan Panera and your husband, Bill, right?
Right.
And I didn't know if Bill was officially on the board or not.
He noticed his name was not on the board, so he thought that was a good idea.
And Erica Stout, hi. Erica's our newest board member. Thank you for reminding me I'm missing someone there. So Erica recently joined the board. I think the one person we don't have with us tonight is Brad Isler, so I'm not sure if he'll make it or not. We're always looking for board members. It's not a big commitment. If you're interested, let us know. We'd love to get you involved. Okay, so I'll just kind of start with myself on an introduction. I'm Vicki Fitzsimmons. I live on 119th Street. I've been there about 25 or so years. And I've been kind of being the informal president for about 15 years on the neighborhood association. And why don't we go next to you there?
And where I live on the corner of 35th and 36th, it kind of comes together there, and since 2008.
Sarah? Linda Elms, and I've lived here since 2003.
Betty Hennessy, and I lived in my house in 1982.
Wow. Erica Smerick, I live on 36th Avenue, about 30 plus years.
Elizabeth Moss, I'm from the Third Creeks Community Library, which is in the parking lot of Fred Meyer's.
With Richard, Sue's my wife, she can't make her back. Anyway, we live at 2704 Northeast 111th Street. It's sometimes you wonder if you can actually get into it.
It's probably the highest point in the neighborhood, just about too. All right, we'll continue around the table.
I'm Scott Stout. We're on 29th. We've been here about 6 years.
Yes, Erica, married to him, what he said.
Dave Herrera, I live next to the park. My house backs up to it. That is the conservation area since 2000.
And I'm the speaker, so, and I live in the Philida area.
Yeah. And we'll go to the back tables there.
We're Richard and Holly Douglas, and we live off of 113th on 32nd Court, next to the beautiful carved owl. If you've never gone and looked, it's pretty cool.
Nice. Bill, do you want to say a word?
Hello. Bill Panera. It's my wife Jen. She does all the work. We live on North 30th Ave.
Great. And Honey?
Honey Lavelle, my husband Daryl, been here since 2006 and we live on 34th.
Excellent. And Mary Lee?
And I'm Mary Lee McCall. I have been with the county for 21 years, been with the neighborhood program for 10, and I work with the 17 active neighborhoods. I'm working on getting 2 more active right now, and I help send out the postcards and organize the neighborhood events. And we were doing some emergency management stuff. We're starting to get that kicked up again, and these 4 lovely people have helped us do some of the neighborhood readiness events that we've done in the past, and we're going to start getting those kicked off again.
I want to say a couple more words about Mary Lee before we introduce the people on Zoom. So Mary Lee's our coordinator with Clark County. Clark County basically is the sponsor of the neighborhood association. We are just an all-volunteer group dedicated to helping to improve life in the neighborhood, make community connections, occasionally do events that we feel are going to improve the neighborhood. One thing we're not is an HOA. I've actually had a real spurt of calls lately about codes and covenants and if people can put sheds in their backyards or not. So that's not what we're all about. I'll have you put that on a postcard next time. So there is a lot of confusion, people thinking the neighborhood association is a HOA enforcement type organization, but we have no treasury, we collect no dues, we are just all volunteers trying to help out with community connections more than anything else. And Mary Lee
online.
and Mary Lee coordinates that, and she does the Zoom for us too. So I'm so glad that she handles the Zoom, but I'm not good at that. Go ahead and
If people want to unmute, they can introduce themselves. Because it looks like there's a couple unmuted on.
should we start?
Lori, I live on 116th Street and have been there for 7 years.
Thanks, Mary.
I'm Laura. I live on 115th Circle and I've been there for 21 years.
Ooh.
Close to Mary.
Right.
So we see S Creek neighbor and Meg. If either of you would like to unmute and say a quick word to introduce yourselves, if
Put
possible.
in the chat. Chad and Katie Yarber on 119th and Shane and Megan on 113th.
Great. I guess that's everyone then. Wonderful. We love to see the turnout. We hold a meeting at least once a year. This is actually our 2nd meeting of the year. Might go up to 3 or no. Mary Lee will send postcards out for us 3 times a year if we're up for it. So hopefully you all got the yellow postcard that arrived in the mail and or a reminder from Linda about the meeting this week. So again, if you would like to be on the email list, please add your email to that sign in. And I don't know if there's a way for us to get it from the people off the chat, but that would be nice to figure out also.
Yeah, one of them put one in. I'll make sure that it gets sent to you.
Great. So again, I didn't set up a formal agenda today. I usually have a little handout, but we really just have a few things on the list that we want to talk about today. I think I'll start with our Fort Vancouver Regional Library speaker here in just a moment. So she'll be first up to give a presentation about Fort Vancouver Regional Library 50th anniversary. 75th anniversary. Excellent question.
Can you explain the difference between the 2 maps?
Oh, good question. I'll hold them up for the Zoom call also. They're really the same map, and actually they are somewhat outdated. I meant to get a green highlighter and fill in this portion here, which has been added to our neighborhood. So let me do it this way first, and then I'll turn around. Our southern boundary is 104th Street, and our western boundary is I-5. I-5. And then our eastern boundary over here is 50th Avenue and kind of comes up along 205. So this area here, I was looking for a green highlighter that should be shaded in because we got some of this additional area added to the neighborhood. So that's basically our neighborhood boundaries. Again, those are set by Clark County, Mary Lee's program. And yeah, that's Sherwood Hills Neighborhood Association.
When did they realign the boundaries?
Well, it's actually in coordination with you guys as well. The boundaries for the neighborhood that is up above you are ginormous.
Okay.
And so they were pretty overwhelmed. And so we talked about shifting up and also adding you guys into having Klein line because it didn't make sense because the boundary of the neighborhood that is above where you guys are at is basically fairgrounds. It goes all the way over to fairgrounds, and it doesn't make sense for fairgrounds to be maintaining Kleinline Park. They've already got another park that's over on the other side and all of the theater stuff. And there's a lot of other stuff that they've got going on that side. And I think eventually we'll probably have a split in that neighborhood to where one side is fairgrounds and the other side is Four Creeks, I think is what we call it. So that's later down the road though.
And that's a great question, Bill. So they're really the same exact maps. The only difference on this one is I did put some of the bordering neighborhoods on here. So
Oh, yeah.
off of this side, we've got Philida and North Salmon Creek. This is the area that used to be fairgrounds that we've actually absorbed all the way up to 134th. There's a couple of small neighborhoods over here, Greyhawk and Rambling Creek Estates. Pleasant Highlands is a larger one. And then to the south of us is the Northeast Hazel Dell Neighborhood Association. So they're really just the same maps, but a little bit different size. And I added the boundary neighborhoods on there.
The people that were added, have they been notified?
They are on the mailing list. They get the postcards that go out to all the addresses in the county. I don't know how many have actually come to the meetings and added their email to our email list, but yeah, we're more than happy to have them join in. We're not actually doing a whole lot up there, but we did do the celebration of sidewalks, which was right along Highway 99th Street here, or Highway 99, and that was before the pandemic, so it was about 2019. And today in particular, we're going to be talking about this little stretch of road right here on the way to Kleinline Park, because there's a wonderful project planned to beautify our area. So that'll be the second thing on our agenda. So we will start with our presentation from the library, and then we'll go into the fish mural project. Come on up and.
The library is turning 75 this year, and we are celebrating in a lot of different ways. One way is we have a passport program, and I brought some passports there with the idea of if you go to all of our 15 libraries, we have 15 libraries across 4 counties. So we are a very large library system, and you can get a stamp from each library on your passport. And if you go to all of them, you get entered for a drawing with a really, really cool grand prize. It is so cool. They haven't told us what it is yet. They have promised it will be really, really cool. We're also doing a lot of fun happy 75th anniversary programs. We have for the kids a summer reading kickoff this Tuesday, 1950s, which was 75 years ago, 1950s themed carnival sort of a thing. For adults, we have a couple of events in July, including a book trivia contest and a learn how to create pictures as you fold books and make them into art. So lots of fun stuff happening to celebrate the 75th. And we're coming to people in the community and giving presentations to make sure everyone knows all of the great stuff the library offers. So I have a handout. It's called Elizabeth's Favorite Resources. I'm Elizabeth. And these are some of the things I think that are really cool that the library offers. So I'm going to start with the electronic stuff, which is where a lot of stuff can get hidden because you have to navigate it from the website. So there's some cool gems. And then we'll go into the stuff that's not electronic. So a lot of people know about our ebooks. They know about Libby. They get ebooks and audiobooks. That's a great resource. If you haven't done it, come to the library. We'll set you up. We'll install it on your device. We'll give you a tutorial walkthrough. But we also have 2 movie streaming services. We have Hoopla and we have Canopy. Canopy spelled with a K. Canopy is for the independent films, the classic films, the documentaries. It's that kind of stuff. Hoopla is more of the popular media, the stuff on TV shows, the stuff in the movie theater type of things. You can actually get binge passes from it. Hoopla contains all of Hallmark movies, and you can get a binge pass and watch the Hallmark movie streaming service. So I recommend you try it, especially in Christmas when they have lots of fun Christmas movies. So we have 2 movie streaming services, Hoopla and Canopy. We also have a Learn How to Speak a New Language app. It's called Mango Languages. It's like Rosetta Stone. It's like Duolingo. They have 70 languages. One of them is Talk Like a Pirate, but the other 69 are real languages. And it gives you slideshows. You can record your voice, hear back. They have little cultural notes. It's a really great way to learn a different language. And some of the languages have specialties. So for example, there's a general learn how to speak Spanish, but then there's Spanish for business, Spanish for medical professionals, Spanish for lawyers, Spanish for librarians, Spanish for travel, and Spanish for romance. So you can learn all these great things with Mango. And if you know someone who is learning English, Mango will teach English to them they have a long list of languages, so they can instruct in the language through Mango. So that's a great one. If you like music, we have Freegal. Freegal, you can get up to 5 hours of free music streaming every day, ad-free. And you can get 5 songs in MP3 format that you can download and keep forever. You can put them on any device, you can listen to them, they are yours forever. So that's Freegal. It's with the Sony Music Studio. And last time I checked, they had over 13 million songs in practically every single genre. So Freegal is a great resource. If you like newspapers or magazines, we have an app for that. We have the app Flipster and the app Press Reader, and they both have different titles. So it's just pick which ones have the titles you like best or do them all. And if you like the New York Times, you can actually get access to the New York Times through the library's webpage. We'll give you a code you can use on the New York Times app or webpage to get access to. We have all different New York Times ones, general news, cooking, sports, games. So all sorts of New York Times access you get for free with your library card. We also have consumer reports online. So if you've ever gone, and I don't know which dishwasher to buy or what the ratings are on different mattresses, go to Consumer Reports. Here's the trick though. If you go to consumerreports.com, it'll say, great, we want your credit card number, we will charge you. Don't do it that way. Go to the library's website, fvrl.org, and go to Consumer Reports. It's in our Research, Learn, Do section. Go to Consumer Reports, and then it'll say, what's your library card number? You plug that in, and you get instant access to the Consumer Reports website. So that's a great resource there. We also have a new one. We just got it a few months ago. It's called BrainFuse. If you know any students who are struggling, it is free live tutoring. It is not with a robot. It is with a real person from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. You put in the student's grade from kindergarten through college, and then the subject. For the elementaries, it's just like reading, math, science. For the high school and college, they get, is it algebra, is it trigonometry, is it calculus? They will connect you with a live tutor. And if you have essays, you submit essays within 24 hours, they give you feedback on that essay. So that's a great resource we offer. We also offer LinkedIn Learning. These are online courses on any subject imaginable, whether it's trying to improve your skills for your resume, which is why LinkedIn is doing this, but also you want to know how to take better pictures with your camera on your smartphone, or you've always wanted to learn how to watercolor. They have classes for everything, all free with the library part. And we have Ancestry. The one thing about Ancestry is you have to be in the library to access it. That's for genealogy resources. Most of our genealogy resources you can access from home, like the full 3 military records, like newspapers.com. But Ancestry has to be done either on one of the library computers or connected to the library Wi-Fi. So those are some of the electronic resources we have. We also have some fun things to do that aren't electronic. Like you can go to a museum. The library has agreements with 12 different museums, some of them in Vancouver, some in Portland, some of them in Cliff-Tascamania counties up the gorge. And you get a museum pass. Some of them give you a +1 or a +2 or a +3 guests. And so you don't have to pay for museum tickets. We also have a backpack called the Checkout Washington Backpack. You put it on hold just like you would a book. It comes with a backpack with binoculars and field guides for like bird watching or plant identification and a Discover Pass. So instead of having to buy a Discover Pass when you renew your tabs on your license plate, you can just check out the Washington backpack and just hook the Discover Pass on your card and park for free in any of the Washington state parks. Now it's summer, they're in high demand, so you may have to wait a couple weeks for them. If you want to go in January, you can get it within a couple days. So it just depends, the waiting list. Last time I checked, we had
So
about
do you have
80
to sign up somewhere?
Yeah, you just put it on hold. So just instead of searching for James Patterson, search for check out Washington backpack. Or it's under research, learn, do on our menu. It's something you do and it'll take you there. Check out Washington backpack. You put a hold on it and we email you or call you when it's in. You get it for 3 weeks, just like a regular book, and then you return it and it goes to the next person. We also have board games. Last time I checked, we had over 340 board games that you can check out. So if you're planning a party or you have family from out of town coming to visit and you're like, what am I gonna do? You had a board game from the library and have fun. We also have book discussion kits. So if you're part of a book discussion group or you want to start one, we have over 40 book discussion kits where there's 12 copies of the same title. It comes in a plastic tote bin and you check it out. Those check out for longer than 3 weeks. Those check out for 12 weeks because you have to get it, pass it out, read it, discuss it, collect them back. So we have book discussion kits and we have tons of programs. I talked about some of them, tons and tons of programs. We have news and events brochure in the back that has a whole bunch of our programs, not all of them. There's even more online for the full list. But the nice part of the May and June news and events is it includes all of our summer programming. So in the center section, there's one all about summer reading, which by the way is for grownups too. This year, grownups get prizes. The 19 and under still get the free books and the 20 and older don't. But when you read, we want everyone to read for 40 days. And on day 10, 20, 30, and 40, you get a sticker. Grownups too. And the day 40 sticker is holographic and you get entered into the grand prize drawing, which for the adult one, it has some really cool book lover gifts and a gift card to a local bookstore. So that's a really fun thing that's happening right now. You can sign up online or in the library. And then we have even more one-on-one tech help. So if you have a new device, you're like, I don't know how to use it, or you're like, oh, I really want Regal on my phone, but I don't know how to use it. We offer one-on-one tech help. So it's very, very popular after Christmas and the holiday season because people are like, my grandkids got me this and I don't even know how to turn it on. That's what the library is there for. We'll do a one-on-one appointment. We'll sit with you and we'll help you with whatever technology needs you have. We also have free printing. You can get up to 30 black and white pages printed free every week at the library, or 6 color pages printed free. We have free faxing. We have kilowatt electricity monitors. Have you ever wondered how much electricity is this appliance in my house taking up? You can check out one of those and find out. We have personalized reading suggestions. We have study room and meeting room space. All that and more. So I just wanted to tell people about that and ask if there are any questions anyone has. Yes.
I just used the fax or the scanning copier. Didn't work very good, but I used it.
I'm sorry. It didn't work
I
well.
wanted to scan a death certificate and someone assisted me at the library. I didn't even know that service was available. And it puts the scanned image on a thumb drive. But when I got home and tried to print it, it had void all over it.
Oh, that's nothing our copy machines can get rid of because that's something that the state.
It's built into the
Yeah.
a document like that, just to show, it's built into a document like that to show that that's a copy versus an original.
Yeah, that would be really hard to remove involving very expensive photoshopping programs.
I did a workaround
Yeah.
at home. But you know, it just goes to show it is wise to call the library and ask, do you offer this? Because a lot of services that you articulated tonight A lot of people don't know it's available.
When people come and they say, I want to get a library card, they don't mean and sit for 4 hours while you tell me all the cool stuff the library offers. Which is why I'm here tonight, to give you like a tidbit of some of my favorite things.
I just have there's a question. I can get Canopy on my phone, on my iPad, and on my computer, but I can't get it on my television. So if I go over, somebody can help me there for that, or?
We can't help you with your television necessarily because that would be really hard to bring to the library.
Yeah.
And it depends on how you get your streaming services on your TV. So it's, some TVs offer Canopy as an app you can put on, some don't. Some people use like a Roku stick or a Fire TV stick to get Canopy on there. It just depends on what
I
device
probably have
you're
a service
using.
that doesn't do it, so I could get it on everything else, but I just.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You could call whoever makes your TV and say, hey, I want you to add Canopy and try to get it that way.
Or you let your TV provider and sit there for an hour and get no answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's fun.
So you've told us a lot about the electronic services, but there's a lot of in-person services also. I know there's a Lego thing for the kids once a
Yes.
month.
In fact, it should have been today, but we were closed for the holiday. But we'll be back in July. The Legos are always the third Thursday at 4 o'clock.
And then I've done the Spanish conversation circle, so if you're wanting to learn other languages, you can get in conversations. And can you tell us about any other groups that you meet there on a regular basis like that?
So we actually just started a new group for disabled adults for crafting. That's once a month. We have monthly book discussion kits. I'm really excited about 2 new programs we're going to be starting in September. We're going to be starting an in-person chair yoga class. There's currently an online chair yoga class, but it's going to be the first Tuesday of every month at 1 o'clock at the Three Creeks Library. We're doing an in-person chair yoga class. We're also starting a basic internet and computer skills course. Starting in September, that'll be every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And that's taught in conjunction with Goodwill. And they'll be coming and doing that. So that's a great 2 new ongoing things that we're excited.
So everything you're telling us about is available at Three Creeks, and then there's even more, for example, at the main library downtown and some of the
Yes.
other branches.
And the news and events calendar is actually for the whole district, or at least the Park County ones. So you can go and see what's happening at the downtown, at the Richfield, at the Cascade Five.
Can you tell us about the levy?
Yeah, so the library is on the ballot on August 5th for the levy lidlet. We're asking to restore the levy lidlet to 50 cents per $1,000. And if you get that flyer, there's a QR code that takes you to our webpage, which has probably more information than anybody would ever want to know.
So do you already have one then, and you're just renewing it?
So yeah, we currently have a levy for the library. That's how we're funded, 96% of
Right.
property taxes. 96% of the library is funded through property taxes. The actual percentage of your property taxes that goes to the library is very, very small.
Right.
Currently, it's just under 27 cents per $1,000.
And you're wanting to up it to 50? So are they short on money? Is that?
So I have to be very, very careful what I say. Because I'm being paid right now, so I'm at work. So I'm going to be very neutral and say, if you go to the website, it will list everything in terms of how much money our budget is now, what it will look like if it passes, what it will look like if it fails. And all of that information is detailed there.
So Elizabeth, are you the lead library at Three Creeks?
I'm the
or-
branch manager.
Okay. How long have you been at that location?
I've been there for 8.5 years. I've been branch manager for 3.
Everyone there is just wonderful to work with.
Thank you.
Really, you walk away just saying, my God, these people are happy to see me.
We are happy to see you. We love
It's a great place.
having you come in, even if you just come in and say hi. We love that.
From,
Do we have some online questions?
yeah, from Sherwood. Oh, Hills, probably Three Creeks is probably the closest one.
Yes, but actually, wherever you are, you can get a library card. You can get one online on the computer. Just go to FVRL.org. It's under using the library, get a card. There's an online form you can fill out and get your card instantaneously. You could probably get one before I finish talking tonight. So if you do it online, it gives you access to all of the electronic resources and you can check out 3 books. If you come to the library, you can up that to 50 physical items. But ebooks, you get all of them. You can check out 15 ebooks at a time.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you guys for letting me come and talk to you. And I'd like to see you at the library.
Okay, thank you so much for telling us all about Port Vancouver Regional Library and all the wonderful resources available there. We're gonna switch gears and I'm gonna give the floor to Vicki Holman. And she's gonna talk about the Salmon Creek Fish Mural. So I've got a few different handouts. I've got 15 of these, so I'll just start the
The one
slide
with
going
the-
around.
The one with the QR code is the most current.
Okay,
What is this?
this is the one that kind of is the whole vision of the
Oh,
mural, and it's
okay,
very
okay.
detailed, so if you don't mind taking one and passing it
So
along,
if
I
I
think
put
there's
this up
probably
here,
enough to go
can
around the room
everybody see it?
there.
Like, I don't know where this is happening from.
Where the camera is, the camera is showing this, so it's directed towards the room.
Okay, and if
So
I
you
put
would
it-
have to turn it around.
Okay,
So you're probably gonna have
So
to
when
kind of do
you're-
it this
You
direction
have to
first
show
and
it
then
to the
turn
room,
it, show
and then
it.
you'll have to turn it around and show
Okay.
it to the
but
camera.
if I put it up here, is it gonna block the camera at all? Well, I'll put it
The
up.
camera's pretty high up. It's on top of the TV.
Yeah,
So
the camera's on top of the screen. It won't block the. It won't block But we will need to turn it around so that they can see it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we will turn around what's on this board as soon as she's done showing it to the room. It's just gonna take us a minute since we don't have an online version of it, so I apologize for those that are online.
Well, I thought the library was so exciting. I hope I can get that kind of enthusiasm here too. So,
I think we actually have an app on our public health board.
okay.
But if we
The
don't have
library
this
be a
one,
nice place to be. The library is wonderful and you're so exciting to listen to. You're so enthusiastic. And when people who go to the library want to be doing this? I hope so. I think somebody did put a poster up.
yeah, I think they did, but if they don't, I'll put this one up.
Okay, well, I have a better one.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, hi, everybody, I'm Vicki, and I had this idea because I keep driving by that very ugly wall on 117th, right before the I-5 bridge, kind of across the street from Pine Line. Yeah,
So the actual location, here's Chuck's Produce right in here, and there's a stoplight. So if you're kind of going past Chuck's Produce towards Klein Mine, it's this,
right here, yeah.
it's this stretch of road here. 117th is really the same as 119th Street. It just kind of changes a little bit there with the curve. So it's this stretch here is what she's referring to.
So on the south side of 117th, there's this huge long wall. And I think it was built on one, and I know it was, it's a retaining wall so that you could drive under I-5 when they built I-5. Well, this ugly wall is a perfect target for graffiti because there's a nice sidewalk right in front of it. And so then the county graffiti abatement people come by and they paint over the graffiti, but they never use the same color paint. So maybe one of these pictures shows that it's very blotchy, it's a very ugly patchwork quilt. Anyhow, so I got this idea that it should have a mural and that the mural should be fish. And fish that are native, generally native, well, that are native to the area, but I'm including being able to be very creative. So it might not look exactly like a salmon or a trout or whatever. So we're accepting applications right now for people who want to paint. And the fish are going to be 4 feet, and I'm going to even make them 3 feet because some people don't want to paint quite that large of a fish. They're all going to be in gray tones, so black to white and all the grays in between. We're painting in September.
And I'm looking for artists right now. That's my main task, is to find artists. I also could use a few volunteers to do some things, and that would be, I want to, I actually showed it on my very crude drawing. Some wave lines that are ripples that are going through the whole thing to kind of tie it all together. And then I need a few waves at the top. And at the very beginning, it slants down quite low, and there's two panels, they're 24 feet each, and then it turns and goes more on with the street. I want to put waves on that part of it and then a waterfall going down. And so if anybody is able to paint that, that would be great. Otherwise, it's going to be me. I'm not claiming to be an artist by any means. Let's see, yeah.
Will the whole background be painted prior to?
Yeah. So the county,
You forgot to tell them all the nice things the county is.
the county is wonderful, and they are going to clean, there's a lot of tree branches and blackberries and ivy and stuff like that growing over the wall right now and kind of over at the top of it. What? What was that?
But they can't figure out how to get sidewalks down it, but they can figure out that.
This park actually does have sidewalks already.
It does have sidewalks, but the sidewalks need to be clean too, because somebody could trip on them and it just looks kind of crappy. So the county's gonna clean up all of that, and then they're gonna pressure wash the wall. And then they are going to paint a base coat, which will be in a light gray. And then in September, we're gonna paint fish, and it's gonna be a really fun project. We really want to get different people from the community. I'm actually really looking for some Native Americans that might draw in the style called form line, which it's kind of my attempt right there.
What's it called?
It's called form line. And it's a Northwest Native American style. And I think that would be wonderful. And there's a Hawaiian community in Vancouver. If one of the fish had on a Hawaiian shirt and a lei, if that's the best we can do to represent that culture, I would love that. So anyway, anybody here an artist or have?
No, but my question is, did you say that they will all be in black and gray tone?
Yes.
How did you choose that as opposed to?
Well, because I drive by it almost every day, and there's two reasons. I don't want to go around the corner and see some big red thing in my face, because there's a lot of nature on the other side of the road. There's Fine Line and the hills, and there's all these beautiful trees and stuff. So I don't really want to detract from that. And the other thing is, we need a lot of supplies, and I don't want to have to get all different colors of paint and stuff like that. But you can do a lot with grays and all the blacks and everything. Here's one that has roses on it. I've got my idea of what I'm gonna do.
You wanna say too, that the county actually not only are gonna paint the wall, they're providing the paint and the brushes. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
somebody really just needs to submit a picture and then get there sometime in September and do it. So
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Vicky, there's people making comments.
Oh, okay. So is this a good time to turn it around?
Well, actually, it's
Really?
not, they're not necessarily making a lot of comments, but I'm
I've been kind
typing
of
in.
transcribing some of this information so that the people on the chat can read it also.
Okay,
There is one
And-
person, Maria, is saying that she would like to help.
wonderful.
It says she's not professional, but she'd be happy to submit a sketch, and she wants to know what email to send. So
Okay.
I have sent the email in.
You send it to her?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Yeah, Salmon Creek Mural Project at Gmail.
I've got that in there, and then I'm gonna scan this stuff in and send it to Vicky so that then she can send it out to everyone.
The main thing is this one to scan and send.
Yes, the one pager.
So I don't think I gave you this one yet, Mary Lee, this one has a QR code.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, so any more questions? Yes.
Have you contacted the people at the casino?
No, I
Casino.
haven't.
They must have committees.
I have contacted the Calix tribe. And eventually I got connected to somebody in Seattle, and they actually have artists, Native American artists. And it's time for me to start recalling everybody that I've called in the past, so, yeah. Yeah, so you probably want to know who else I've talked to. Go
What
ahead.
about the Skyview and has
Columbia
an
River.
art program
Yeah.
and Columbia both have art programs?
Yes. I've talked to both schools.
Okay,
I talked to them several months ago, and they really are very sensitive because if they support something or promote something, they feel they're responsible. If somebody would happen to get hurt, it's gonna be their fault. So, and by the way, the county is gonna provide insurance, that was one of the first things I learned. That's wonderful.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
but they could, I mean, I don't know why they couldn't just put it out there so kids individually on their own can make
That's what
that
I-
choice.
that's
I know
what-
my daughter, actually Laura Shepherd, who's up in here, we went down to the, it was for the youth. It was a youth center and they painted murals on the walls inside the building. And they had a few kids from my church and some other kids and went and did that, so. There are kids that will be.
Could I give you one of these flyers for your church?
Yes, yeah, yes.
Do you have the one with the QR code? Here's the most current one.
I do, I have this
And the
one.
art-
Okay, good.
On the art school on Main Street there also.
I know, I did call them too, and they weren't.
They were very interested.
But I have,
Typical people weren't interested.
but I've spoken in front of, Battleground Art Chat. I've spoken in front of the Clark County Arts Commission. They're wonderful. I don't know if you even know who that group is, but there's an artist from each different town and they all are different. They all have, like, one blows glass and one does movies and one paints, and they're really interesting. So that was a good group to talk to. And a lot of other groups, I've been to some art shows and gone around and talked to all the different artists there, and
How
really
many
good.
submissions have you got so far?
I haven't looked at them because I have to go to a different place to see them, but I have seen a few, and they're really interesting. They're very different, and they're fun.
And you may have told us, how many fish do you feel like we need
I
to
think
cover?
we
the
need
wall?
almost 50. And I'm encouraging people to paint more than one if they would like. But because that's a lot of artists, 50 artists, just painting one fish, so.
I have a question. There's graffiti on this wall. If we paint this beautiful mural,
That's a good question. I got an answer.
okay.
There's a product and it's called anti-graffiti coating. And we're gonna paint that over it, and then the paint just washes off.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's gonna be really good. And also, I don't know if you know this, but there is kind of a rule among artists and graffiti artists that you don't paint over somebody else's work. Now, I will say on that wall, there's a lot of tagging, which is it's a different thing.
Right.
So I just hope we can get it painted, finish painting and then coat it before somebody comes and tags it. But we do have paint, we can paint over that, so. Anyway.
And the person gets their name, the person that did this.
Yes, you
gets
can
their name
sign it,
underneath
yeah, sign it.
Kind of paint are we using?
I don't really know. It's something for outdoors and, yeah. Anyway,
So I just want to say, I think Vicky's done a fantastic job of getting this idea up and running, getting the idea together in the first place. Having a framework to make it easy for volunteers just to come and commit to one fish, and hopefully you'll get
Thank you.
plenty of
Thank you.
volunteers. So when the time comes, which is gonna be, I believe, the whole month of September, she's gonna set it up to where during the month of September, people are just kind of going there on the weekends, not necessarily all on one day, it will be spread out over time. She's asked if our neighborhood might be able to supply some volunteers just to help out with some of the logistics. There's gonna be ladders involved, cleaning up of paintbrushes, that kind of thing. So we'll be calling out for volunteers at that time. I also wanted to mention that next weekend, I'm gonna do a neighborhood cleanup day, and it'll be right on that stretch of road, which is 117th, 119th Street. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this around. If anyone would like to sign up to join me on the cleanup day, feel free to.
I'd like to ask a question. I came last year to the cleanup, but I think I was in the wrong Chuck's parking lot than you were.
Is that, I was running a few minutes late that morning, I apologize.
I was in the actual parking lot in the corner,
Yeah.
but there's the one in the back around the
Yeah, no, I
side
parked
too.
right in the very corner near the stoplight.
Okay,
So.
okay.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like sleeping in, unfortunately.
Gotcha. I just wanna make sure
My
that
bad.
I was going to the right parking, okay.
I want to say something really important. I met Erica at your board meeting and we talked for less than 5 minutes. And earlier this week, she came up with a video about this. And she's posted it on Instagram and I don't know where else.
Facebook and YouTube,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it is wonderful. It's pretty much what is on this paper.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's so great and you have a great voice and very clever and I'm gonna, thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's really, really good. And it's helped. I've got a lot more
Yeah.
people sending in stuff.
Good.
Okay,
So our goal is that this will help beautify the neighborhood, give it a little bit of character and flavor, tie in with the park and the fact that we've got Salmon Creek right there with fish runs, you know, over the years, they've done a lot to restore Salmon Creek and get salmon actually coming back up the creek and laying their eggs and being able to spawn and things there. So I think it's wonderful that number one, Vicky undertook it to get this upon herself, to get this ball rolling, and that we have other people joining in to help and spread the word. I know we'll probably get a good team of volunteers when the time comes that we actually need to do the project. Just like she said, once a dirty spot is cleaned up and painted, people tend to respect it a little bit more, and we're hoping that the taggers will respect it. So it is a corridor where a lot of people are walking to get to the park, and I think it's really just pretty neat that we can spruce things up a little bit and make it a little more of a character and something that is an attraction for the neighborhood. So hopefully it'll be a big success and we'll get lots of artists and lots of fish.
one of your members lives up at the top of the wall. There's 2 houses and then there's some apartments. So I was out there measuring the wall and this man came walking by and he said, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?" It turns out he lives up there. And so I told him what I have, what I'm up to. And he said, "Well, gee, my son's an artist." And his friends are artists because they kind of hang out together. So I'm looking forward to having them paint something too. So.
And it's wonderful that you've been able to coordinate with the county, get some help from
yeah,
them in terms of supplies. We're not asking people to go out and raise money for the project. We're really just asking for all hands on deck with volunteers
Thank you
and
so
some
much.
helpers.
Okay.
And the art, the rendering has to be to you by the 15th of July.
It actually goes to the QR code.
Okay.
And if there's anybody that isn't familiar with that or cannot do it or whatever, you can just send it to the email. But make sure you tell me your name and your phone number or your how to contact you.
I think I should give you one on paper.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get that, a paper picture on email. So.
You could come to the library and we could have,
that would be-
and, or use the QR codes.
I don't know if this will.
So just sort of another shout out, if there's any other groups, you know, that might be good for Vicky to talk to, please let her know any information there. Again, it's a grassroots effort, so I think just getting the word out and different groups of interest, you know, you never know where.
I don't know if this is
an artist might
good
be
or not. I'm
hiding.
gonna try to do this, but I will be sending this out by email.
I talk to people, if you're in line behind me at Safeway, you get my lecture. If you're next to me on the exercise bike in the gym, you get my lecture, and you will be surprised how many people have, a sister, a daughter, a next door neighbor, or a son, or somebody who is an artist and would be really interested in it. So spread the word. Okay, thank you. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can go ahead and take it down now. I just wanted to make sure they had a chance to see it.
Yeah.
I tried to do the QR code on the screen. I don't know if that's gonna work through Zoom, but if it doesn't, I'll be emailing this out.
Or you can go to the email site, Salmon Creek Mural Project @gmail, and then I can send you the form with the QR code. Yeah. Okay. And I'm really invested in your neighborhood because my boyfriend lives there.
Whenever we go out to eat, waitress comes over to take our order. She says, "Are you an artist?" I have to tell her, we're here to eat.
So that's pretty much my formal agenda tonight. Now, Marilee, you were gonna see about getting a sheriff, liaison deputy. Is there anyone from the sheriff's?
There's not
department
anybody here
available?
tonight, but we are, as I said at the beginning of the meeting, we are kicking off with Cressa, it's somewhat of a map your neighborhood program again. It's kind of a combination between like a CERT light, which is, I always forget what the abbreviation for CERT is. You guys.
Response to.
I mean, I know what you're talking about.
It's
Community emergency
Commu-
response.
Community Emergency Response Team. And so it's not, the CERT training is pretty intensive. It's like 6 weeks of training. Jody Blackwood at Cressa is working on a program. We're launching it actually Saturday, and it'll be just a 1-day program where you can come for the day and start in the morning, and it'll be learning how to pack your go bag. You'll leave with the kit. They have a little bit of grant funding, so the class will only cost like $5 to take the class, and then your investment of the day. You'll learn how to, you won't be able to do it if you don't have all your neighbors there with you, but you'll go with a sheet to be able to go home and get the names of your neighbors and a reminder of getting information about your neighbors. Of, do they have pets? Is there somebody that's on dialysis? Is there somebody that's on oxygen? Is there somebody that works across the bridge that might get stuck in an earthquake? And there's a whole bunch of checklist things that are like that you would need to know in an emergency. And we're going to be going through all those different things during that day-long class. And
Is there more than one class?
it'll just be 1 day. We're going to condense all of it into 1 day, so you'd sign up and you get it all done.
But are you doing multiple classes at that?
We're going to do multiple classes after this one. So, and we're going to come to that neighborhood. So we'll find a location that is near that neighborhood. We'll probably use this location for several of the neighborhoods. The one that we're doing is out in Shalatchi Prairie. So we're doing that one out at the Amboy Fire Station. And if we were to go out to like Prepstill, we'd probably go out closer out to Ward Road or in that area. But we want to make it convenient and make it so that people will actually go and get that information, because it's really important information to have.
So do we sign up for the class, or is it something you want us to do as a group?
We want to make sure that there's at least 12 to 15 people that want to do it from your neighborhood.
Okay.
So we would have Vicky gather the information that you've got interested people, and then we'll set it up for you.
So then we would just pick a date.
Yep, you guys could pick a date and or pick a couple of dates so that we can make sure that we're available.
Okay.
And then we'll coordinate and get it set up for you.
Okay.
And if you've done it before, do you do it again?
If you'd like to, or we can have you volunteer to help us. Fill it out. We'd be happy to have you help again. Because you guys have helped us before and you did a great job. And so that we've got going on. We've got a bunch of different parks information going on. If you're interested in having any feedback on the parks, I know there's something on the webpage for the one in Hazel Dell. They're putting in new playground equipment. They want people to go out and look at what they're going to be doing out there and give them some feedback. And the one that's Orchards community that's across from the Toyota dealership, they're going to be doing some upgrades there, and they want people to look at that one and give them some feedback on that one as well.
Anything else from the county or anything anyone else would like to just say for the good of the order as we do a roundtable?
I assume all this information we can access it on a county webpage someplace.
Yes. Yes, or if you have any questions about anything that's on the county webpage, you can get to Vicky and she'll ask me, or you can call me directly too.
Is your number on this information somewhere?
It is, I don't believe that it is not on that information, but I can give you my card.
So just any other things anyone wants to throw out there as far as what you might like to see from your neighborhood association? In the past, we've done things like, we did a summer picnic a few years in a row. We've done a coordinated garage sale in the Sherwood Hills Neighborhood Association. The Make a Difference neighborhood cleanup days, I usually run those at least twice a year. You know, we can be as active or as inactive as we want. There's no pressure, and that's what I always tell the people joining the board, that, you know, it's to really just to have some fun and to get to know your neighbors better. But we're always open to ideas and suggestions in terms of speakers for the groups. We tend to get a lot of good community speakers, so appreciate the library. It's very timely and great person to have talk with us. Any just kind of ideas that we should maybe try to follow up on for anyone?
Well, you can clean up the signs on Highway 99, the flag signs, the little stick in the ground signs. And whoever the code enforcer is for the county, they take the position, well, you have to call us. Well, don't you drive down Highway 99? You don't see the signs? I mean, that has to be cleaned up. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to put a sign out, don't they have rules on? If you're gonna put a sign out, I mean, especially when we have all the people voting. And then the signs end up tipped over and they end up.
So
being there.
political signs, I believe there's an actual rule that the candidates are supposed to pick those up within 2 weeks after the election. And most of them are actually pretty good about it doing that.
Okay.
Some, every now and then on our, we'll find one that's fallen in the bushes and someone couldn't find it. But that's kind of a good question, Marilyn. Like, there are a lot of, you know, maid service signs or stump grinder or
Cleaning,
junk hauling.
mowing, you name it.
They will come out and take them down if there is a complaint, but the reason why there has to be a complaint is I believe there are 3 code enforcement officers for the entire area of Clark County.
If they will just focus on the heavily trafficked roads where there's a plethora of signs, like Highway 99.
But those 3 officers are also doing all of the overgrown grass, junk cars.
Are they police officers? Or what are they?
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement. So anything that is a code enforcement violation, they're doing all code enforcement. And there's just not enough of them to be able, I think they have something like 600 open cases right now. I might be overstating that, but they've got a huge workload. And so unless there is, so they have a number of cases and then they prioritize them based on safety. And then they go by safety and they just start going down the list and take care of them based on safety.
There is a web page that you can use on the Clark County website that I use quite often to report things like a big pile of trash in the road or various issues that pop up, and they're pretty responsive to coming out and taking care of those.
Cause you had a nasty one and they came right out and got taken care of it.
Sometimes it takes a little persistence.
County website, what am I looking for on the?
It's under Public Works and it's actually called Report a Road Problem. So they have a drop down menu, you can report potholes, dead animals, that kind of thing, but I tend to use other and then kind of just go into explanations on what's going on. Yes.
I will ask though about the signs because sometimes I'm wondering with the amount of signs, if there is a safety issue regarding distracted driving.
Sometimes they're right down the middle.
And so I will
planted.
I will make a point of asking about that because it is a distracted driver issue when there's so many of them.
Go ahead.
Question I have is in regards to blackberry bushes. Is there anything that the county will do It seems like they are taking over in our area.
They have that invasive thing and you go and it says, tell us where this individual plant is. And it's like the entire, corner of 100.
39th is so bad that they finally came out because the buses couldn't even stay on their side of the road.
So I think part of it depends on if it's county owned land, they generally do have maintenance crews that come out semi-regularly and deal with those. Probably not as often as we'd
They
like to
made a
see.
new rule though, because they are so invasive, and I can't remember what it is. Give me your email address. I will check on what it was, because people were having them coming over from their neighbors'
Oh, yeah.
yard.
Yeah.
And so they made a new rule about what you can and can't do. And I can't recall what it is, if I'm remembering correctly, there was something that you could do about it. I just can't recall what that is.
There is,
So when
you're
you
talking about like the
email me,
opposition
I will
program.
99 highway, where they took the hill,
Yeah,
took all the trees down and everything, but that's now just blackberries and across the street, it's all just blackberry. I mean, the whole thing.
and that's actually private land, but I think someone has gone in and mowed it recently.
They did.
But you're right.
Oh, that just
makes me get out of control quickly.
But I got a
Never
question.
cut 'em and
They
leave
did
'em.
just mow over there, but I'm not talking about on the side that Chuck's is on, but on the north side, they just mowed that off. But there's branches that are sticking out now that you can't see up the hill, the traffic coming down. Everything's mowed, but there's some things hanging out and how.
That probably would be a good one to report then if it's.
I was trying to figure out how in the world you could go get out there with clippers.
Where's
Over
What's the
wanna tell
intersection and address?
It's Parkview and it's on the north side of Parkview. Cause you look up 99 highway towards, what's the next business? There's apartments or something up there. It's just a little area, but there's cement all along there, right there on the highway. Which would be on the east side of the road, I think. Where my directions for sure. It's on the side where all the cement is along, that it's a barrier and they're hanging all of that.
Oh, we're talking about where there's no sidewalk.
There's no sidewalk.
Yeah,
no. But I mean, you can't see, when you pull out now, you have to wait and it's like, oh, here comes one more car.
No sidewalk and no visibility.
One big plant can get cut down.
So there's no, when you're pulling out, you're on Parkview and you're trying to pull out on Highway 99, you can't see.
You can't see, yeah,
Okay.
and it's off to your
So-
left.
When on Parkview,
So you were saying north side of the street, that's actually on the south.
pulling.
South side of Parkview.
I told you.
Highway
Yeah.
99. I just want to make sure I've got it right when I am.
There's a big concrete barrier there, really, and it's one of the areas with no sidewalks where it's a pinch point.
And then
People
what
have to walk in
And
the
then
bike
with
down.
the blackberries pulling over, then they're blocking the view. Okay.
I have a solution to the sign problem. So that the enforcer goes by and sees a sign, calls the number and says, we found your sign at this location. We'll be issuing you a citation.
It seems like that's the way they should deal with it. I don't know if that's really the way that happens or not.
Sure, we'll put an end to the problem.
Hold on to your telephone for a second.
So Marilee, I actually had a quick question for you also, because speaking of sidewalks on Highway 99 that we've been advocating for over 15 years.
Yes.
We went to an open house, and I want to say it was 2 actual seasons ago.
It's
About
been a
the
while.
stretch where they had talked about getting it done. Not a whole lot, but kind of between 99th Street up to 104. And I want to say for sure that was more than 2 years ago. Did anyone else go to those open
It was when
houses?
Juliet Olson was a counselor.
Yeah, because it seems like there was a big open house and they talked about it and it wasn't gonna happen that season, but it was supposed to happen the next summer.
And it hasn't happened yet.
No.
Okay.
What's
So-
supposed to happen?
Sidewalks,
Sidewalks.
sidewalks on Highway 99, which is an area that's been lacking.
Okay, so I'll ask about that one too.
Well, aren't they supposed to be putting in the fancy bus system that's going up Highway 90?
Yeah, that's also.
Yeah,
part of it,
and I'm wondering
combined.
if that's part of that C-Tran project, so I'll find that out.
I mean, so they're putting that bus system in, they're gonna have to have the sidewalks.
Yeah, this has actually been at least 2, 3 years ago. We didn't know.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
If anyone else went to that Sarah Anderson school.
Yeah.
That's basically all I have for tonight. If anyone else has anything for the good of the order, we'll reach the table here, but otherwise I think we'll jump up meeting for now. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much to our guest speakers. Thank you to Marilee for setting this up and getting the Zoom part done. And thank you to our attendees on Zoom also.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone. See you again soon.
Thank you so much, Vicki.
Yeah.
You have such a good